Hello and welcome. Generally, I start my shows, my motivational shows, inspiration, leadership shows with thoughts I've had about people asking me questions, and I like to address the questions that they ask, and I always like to incorporate them into my conversation. Today, it's a little bit with a heavy heart I speak. I lost my mother last night, very suddenly. She was pretty healthy at 87, just had some physical problems, and woke up on Tuesday, didn't feel well, and went to the emergency, and it ended up, she ended up in ICU and ventilators, and it's a crazy thing. She passed away suddenly, but it gave me time, of course, to reflect over that week she was in the hospital before she passed last night. It gave me time to think a lot about my life, family, love of people, and I realized that we really all have to work harder to get along with ourselves, our family, to have great self-talk for ourselves, not to be so hard on when things don't go well. When things don't go well, realize that that's part of life and it's going to be okay. When you have an event like I had this week with my mother passing suddenly, you realize it's a very short life. It's a very short life for us, and we have to value every moment. And my point with that is so many families, you know, they get upset about something and they don't talk for 5 years, or they never talk again, and grandparents don't see their grandkids, and there's all kinds of scenarios that happen, and some of them are real life tough experiences that change families. But I realized that my family, through whatever we've gone through, I come from a very large Italian family. No matter how tough it got, or if somebody was struggling, if there was a problem, there was an argument, we always stuck together. We always worked hard to love each other, to put the past behind us, to grow together, and to be the best that we could be as a family. And as this time together at the hospital last week with my mother, I saw the love between my brothers and sisters and the great conversation, and we were talking about the memories. My mom was a upbeat person. She is the reason that I do what I do today in trying to help others, doing what I can to motivate, inspire, lead. At a very early age, she started with that. She bought a thing called Success Magazine many years ago, and she would purchase that, and it would be put on the counter every month when it came out. And me personally, I would read Success Magazine from cover to cover, and I was always so excited, and it just was something that I loved, reading about motivation, success, being better, not being critical of others. When you have a comment that you have to check somebody on something, you don't have to make it so harsh. And it taught me a lot. And as my life went on and I ended up having a successful career in marketing, my mother was always after me, Rick, you gotta be a motivational speaker. Your message is a good one. Talk to people, help people. And I would do that daily with my fellow workers or somebody in my family. That's something that I always did. Now I do it for a living. It's my full-time job. I love it. But my main thing is I am very grateful to my mother for getting me in the right direction always. I come from a family where the father was tough love, and my mother was the one who would pick us up when the tough love came, and always picked us up, dusted us off, and sent us on our way to being better. And because of that, I come from a very successful group of people, and our goal has always been to be better, to work harder, to love others, to be good parents. But, you know, my main thing today is really to try to get across to you all. I know every family argues, everybody has some type of beef with each other, whether it be work, your family, wherever it is, somebody on the street, road rage. Let's all try to work harder every day, and I really challenge you to do this, to try to be better to our fellow man. Open a door for somebody, say thank you, say please when you go to a restaurant. If the food isn't exactly right, you know, I see people go ballistic if their food isn't right. I mean, listen, I understand you're out eating and you're paying for a meal, but people make mistakes. And that's what we all have to be really aware of. We all make mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes in my life. And guess what? They go away, you get over them, as long as you're doing something to change that mistake and not do it a second time or a third time. We're all going to fall down. We're all going to fall down in the eyes of our family members or our bosses or somebody on a sports team. We're all going to fail. But we really need to work at loving each other, being respectful of others, giving people their due when they do well. When they don't do well, help them. Again, and my mother was the ultimate person when it came to loving people and teaching and helping and just being better as a mom, as a community leader. In her senior citizen community, she was looked upon as the positive person. Florence Manarino, positive, positive, positive. She brought so much positive to others. Through her pain, she had a great deal of pain, but you never knew about her pain. I would call her up to see on a regular basis, how are you doing, Mom? I'm great. Let's talk about you, Rick. Let's talk about your kids. Let's talk about your family. Let's talk about your friends. Let's talk about your life. And the funny thing is, this last week at the hospital, my sister and brother-in-law, she was in their care. They lived with her, and they told me the great pain she was in and what she went through daily to get up and to get moving, and the problems she had with her body. I had no idea. I had no idea that my mother was hurting that bad, because whenever I would call her, she never complained, never once complained to me about her physical ailments, never once. She wanted to know how I was, what I was working on, what my successes were, pick me up if I was a little down, and she was an incredible lady. And I've learned a lot from that. I've always tried to be that way, have not come close to her. Because of what's happened to her, I owe it to her to work even harder to be a better person, to help others more, to be a better leader. And her passing is more of a celebration for me, in that we look at her life and say, what a glorious life, what an incredible life. But I need to be more like that lady. And again, my message today is we all need to be better. We all need to pull the best out of ourselves. And man, we have tough days, and we have to work hard sometimes and work overtime. We all have tough times. Every day, there's something that irritates every one of us. But, stop, say a prayer, take a deep breath, whatever it is. I just encourage and challenge everyone to be better to themselves, to be better to their fellow workers, be better to their family, praise God often, and just enjoy life more, and don't get so tense about it. Because in the end, what's going to happen is going to happen. Life is going to happen. And it generally all works itself out. The things we worry about and stress that make us so uptight with ourselves and people, a lot of it never even happens. So stay strong, stay happy. It's the holiday season. A lot of people get tense out there on the roads and shopping and shortage of money. Stay happy, stay blessed. Thank God for your blessings. And every day, let's just be the best we can. God bless you. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and may the new year just bring you incredible happiness and success. God bless.